Hi, welcome to my making of video of the Zaroorat song from the movie. I'll try and take you step by step through all the steps I took to make the arrangement. Some of them will be obvious, others maybe you will hear something new, and that's always good. First, I write out the melody, not just the vocal melody, but also the instrumental bits, intro, outro. If there's something interesting in the accompaniment happening, I write that down. And what I do for that, I use a score with two staves. Can you see that? Well, you can get the idea anyway. One for the melody and one for the accompaniment or ideas I get when listening to the song, when I think, oh, guitar is doing something nice here, or there is some drum bit or some rhythm that I need to incorporate in my final arrangement. I write that down on the second stave. Obviously I want to get the lyrics. I found them on somewhere on the internet, and there were chords with it. I found two versions of the lyrics with two versions of chords. Both were wrong, by the way, but that's okay, because it's difficult, and for me also it's difficult to get the chords sometimes, especially in these Hindi songs, which seem to have another harmonic language sometimes, I suppose, when it's more raga-inspired music. You have a almost static harmony sometimes. Anyway, even when the chords are wrong, they give you an idea to start from. Easiest thing to do when you want to figure out what the chords are is listen to the bass line, because the bass line, very low, often tells you what the harmony is above. Is more logical than no. So the bass line will tell you often what the chords are. Writing out the melody of such, especially the Hindi songs, the Bollywood songs, is difficult because the singer makes all these tiny ornaments and there's always a bit of a bother. Should I write them out for guitar or shouldn't I? So what I do is, I'll let you listen to that. This is the original. And there's more happening than meets the ear, especially later part in the chorus section. So what I do is I slow it down, something like 30%, 50% is too much often, because then you don't hear the music anymore, then the musical content gets lost and you're listening to artifacts instead of real notes. Anyway, 30% down sounds like, and I'll, yeah, that's the beginning. By the way, very nice and slow to hear those opening guitar notes. Don't they remind you of Nothing Else Matters as well? With the from the chorus section. Anyway, I'll go a little further because I want to let you listen to something in the little further. Difficult to catch that. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, da di da 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 di dum da dum. When you listen to this section at normal speed, the details get lost. You hear there's some sort of ornament, but you don't hear quite what the ornament is. So slowing it down will help you to get those really fast ornaments. And, well, to be fair, they're very Indian. So I think you should include them in the arrangement. Make it slurs on the guitar. Hopefully the key and the fingering is easy enough. This is done in the original recording by... what's it called? Auto-tune, by the way. The singer is not singing those ornaments. His singing, his vocal sound is fed through a computer, and then with the keyboard the ornaments are added, which is fine, but So you know, that's why they're so exactly very, very precise, like a classical music bel canto singer doing ornaments. Okay, then the next step is the chords. No, I just explained the chords, the difficult. The lyrics, the difficult for me, because I don't speak Hindi. I have some Hindustani pupils and they teach me a word once in a while. All right, all this results in the draft score. I showed you the draft score, 2 staves. Then comes the next bit, and I think that's perhaps the most important bit, because the first bit, writing out everything is not easy, but on the other hand, it's a dumb job. It's very clear what you have to do. You don't have to need inspiration. You just need hard work. The next bit is you need some inspiration for orchestration. Because guitar is a limited instrument in number of keys that are easy, I have to decide what key I play it in. I like to keep the key of the original, so you can play along, so maybe I use a capo. This one I was lucky in the sense that it's in E minor, and that's a wonderful guitar key. And the B major chord, which is predominant, the dominant in E minor, he doesn't use much. Mostly it's E minor, some C, occasional D, G, but mostly E minor. And the vocals, they lie within an easy range of the guitar. It goes to high A, I believe. Well, that's all I can manage. It's a pity in a way that we don't play higher. So I was tempted to do it higher, especially because the singer in the beginning goes so low. But then I would have to give up the... And that's a shame, because that's the signature opening of the piece. So I kept it in E minor. More on the orchestration. So that's the key and the... Okay, I'll keep the octave as it is. No, I was thinking in the beginning, I wanted to keep the... I wanted to keep that as written, but then the vocals, the singing is very low. And sort of conventional wisdom will tell you that keep the melody on top, obviously, because then we can hear it, and the accompaniment below that, otherwise it mixes and it's not clear what is what anymore. Difficult to play, but also difficult to hear. So I thought I can play the melody higher. And it's nice, it's a very good range for the guitar, and then I keep the... Perfect. So I decided upon that until I saw the chorus, because the chorus goes up. That would be then... No, I'm not going here. Then I need to go here. It's okay to play here, cutaway guitar, or on a non-cutaway even, you can just reach there, but it's not the best sound on the instrument anymore, and you lose all possibility to have a nice boomy bass underneath. And so back to the drawing board, and then I thought, why not leave conventional wisdom aside and play the opening melody in the low octave, but still keep the original guitar accompaniment. And that is not what people do, because it's not supposed to be done, I don't know. And that's my final arrangement, because then what you get is that the accompaniment, the vocal part, is in the same range as the accompaniment. And that's difficult to listen to, but it's also kind of a challenge to make the vocal part sing and keep the guitar part nice and steady, but a little underneath. And because you have these 4 bars of opening, you really put this part into the ears of the listener, like the accompaniment, and they will... So even if here the... accompaniment rises above the vocal melody, still we hear it as an accompaniment because we've been indoctrinated with these first 4 bars where it's really the background stuff, the accompaniment. And then when, what is it, measure 23 or something, when the chorus comes and the melody does go up, it's so nice suddenly, because you can still have this low accompaniment with the same boomy low E string, but then the melody suddenly shines in the, it's almost, it is in a higher octave, really an octave higher. So that was a good find, I think, one of these. Okay, I'll do that. I'll put the vocal melody muddy in the beginning. It's a little harder work to make that sing on the guitar, but the result is really nice, especially when in 23, wow, the melody goes up the octave and it's still at a comfortable range on the instrument, which also not just comfortable for playing, but comfortable for the sound of the instrument to come out. Always think of where your instrument works best. Many of these Hindi songs, they have quite contrasting movements. Often the instrumental bit in the middle, to my ears, has nothing to do with the rest of the song even. So when orchestrating, still I'm at the orchestration part, I do that by writing pencil in my score notation, of course, not tablature, would be silly. I try to find contrasting ways of orchestrating it on the guitar, perhaps in another octave. This nice instrumental bit. I was thinking of doing it here. I'm still thinking of doing it here. I already made the arrangement, I already recorded it, but still I think, it would have been nice maybe, or just once. But on the other hand, what I told you before, if you play so high on the instrument, you lose the chance to play basses. And here, if I listen to the song, mostly what I hear is the melody, obviously. Bass. And those strong basses. Oh, I'm thinking I'm going in red here. I'll try and play a little softer. So I keep it after all in the lower octave, because I can play then the nice basses. Still I'm tempted to do at least once, maybe at the very end, because it's also a nice bit of the guitar, nice and squeaky sounding, very good for that bit. Then we get to the, yeah, you see bar 35? It's an extra beat. Why? What for? Bang, gang, gung. Okay, so I kept that in. 2 power chords. Why is this so loud? It's also picked up at this mic. Okay, never mind. I'll do something post-production, and it doesn't have to be the best sound anyway. Hey, this extra beat, I kept it in. Bang, gang, gunga, dan, dang, dang. There we go again. The guitar solo, the electric guitar solo from measure, where are we? Measure 40 onward. That was awkward, because it's too fast. If I play it down at 30%, I can play it. But at this speed, it's not music anymore. It's just an idea of electric guitar solo, fast and high, and he copies something which is used earlier in the song. It's the raga idea, actually. But it is easy on a classical guitar, on an acoustic guitar, I should say. Doesn't matter whether you use nylon strings or steel strings, whatever. And where the bit where it goes up. that's okay, it's easy enough. It could be this is also on the original keyboard, by the way it sounds. When you slow it down, you hear things differently and more precisely. And could be keyboard with a guitar preset, whatever. Never mind, it's okay, however they make that. Next section is from 52 onwards with this. I was tempted to already use palm mute here, because it sounds cool, I think, palm mute for the bass, and then the... I'm messing up, but the melody clear without palm mute, that's nice. But I will use that effect later, and I thought I will not use all effects throughout all the songs, because this way we get more contrasting movements, and that's a good thing. So I just use the bass. Boom, 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 boom. And then from 56 onward, we have this really stronger hi-hat or afterkick or afterbeat, whatever. I was tempted to, all these temptations when writing music, all these choices to make. The most obvious thing is to do, of course, bass, slap, 1, 2, 3, 4. But being a Hindi song, there's a lot of tabla, even if it's not tabla, a sort of tabla kind of rhythm, which is much more complicated, all these talking drums. So I did here. It's a good rhythm as well, has a nice drive to it. Sometimes it's a bit awkward when you play the second bass note when it has a melody note at the same time is not... it stops the flow a bit. Technically it's a little more difficult, and it stops the flow of the music a bit. But on the other hand, to keep da-da-chik, to keep that beat going on is also worth the trouble. So I chose, after all, what I did choose. Where's page 4? Oh, here's page 4. We go on to page 3 in my version. Next section. Yeah, when the chorus comes back. When the chorus comes back, it's always a kind of relief, because people can sing along, or they can recognize, or you must celebrate the moment of chorus back. So it's nice to do something, to change something in the orchestration. And what I did here is make it a little easier again. Easier for the player, but also easier for the listener, by instead of going from this rhythm, I went back to... which is easier to listen to, easier to play. So there's... the fingers can play the chorus melody a bit better, and the listener can listen to it with a bit more relaxed mind. So we can all celebrate the chorus coming back. And it's short only this time, eh? Hey, ooh, harmonics, harmonics, harmonics. Oh, I'll get back to the beginning. Oh, I should maybe tell you the beginning first. No, the order of things I did in my head, I will tell you. In 72, you get this, and this time I do use palm mute. This is a bit a raga section in the sense that there's no harmonic change. Yeah, halfway he goes to the dominant, and then back to the tonic. That's okay, but not much happening. And this melody, hey, I thought it fits. And you said you liked harmonics, so I thought I'll give you harmonics. Harmonics together with palm mute bass. How cool is that? So I added harmonics, and then I thought, but listen up, the very beginning of the song, it has this sort of weird distorted guitar sound. And I thought I'd leave it out at first, because I can fake that on guitar like this. I can do something. I can play a dissonance, but it doesn't quite get the same effect. But then I thought, if I play the dissonances on with harmonics, you have much more of this distortion feeling, and the very opening, it turned out it worked quite well. Especially when you hear those two together. Yeah, I added the bass because that's in the original chord. And this one, of course, another nice distortion. Not so clear as the other one, as the first one. Resolving into a, into the G. So, the harmonics in measure 72 led me to the thought of adding harmonics in the opening and adding that too, which is a kind of nice touch because it gives this grand feeling that the original song has. Onward, 74. Yeah, there was just the section with the palm mute bass. Don't palm mute the fingers, only palm mute the bass. And of course in 78 it gets awkward because actually you should play a D sharp here, but I'm not going to do that in a song. No, because that would be very awkward. So I played the high D sharp. But if I play it where normal human would play it, string 4, fret 1, it's very awkward to palm mute with this bit of the and play the third string clearly. That needs so much control. So what I did instead was play the D sharp on string 5, fret 6. Palm mute string 5 is okay. And then I can play the open G and open B. They're safe on the palm muting. And the A with the pinky on string 4, that's a bit risky, but that's okay. End of palm mute measure 82. Yeah, I could have kept that in the low octave, of course. Or I could have done the harmonics again, but then I thought, no, let's... In the original it's differently orchestrated as well. At first it has some bell-like sound, and I think now it's the guitar, if I remember well. And it's more rhythm again, so I do the... nice driving beat again. Combining that, I find that section difficult, by the way, from 82 onwards. The combining with the melody, is a little tricky. We come back to the chorus somewhere. Where is that? Yeah, there we are. 96. I use the same trick as before. When the chorus reappears, I use the more simple version of the accompaniment, and just a... It's a celebration, the chorus should be the same thing again. Isn't that cool? We do that same thing. Nice. Oh, minor point. Sometimes you see in the fingering I use, instead of... For example, measure 102, because I happen to be looking at it, I find this. Because then you can keep the D and the F sharp at the same time. Of course, the very first time that happens is measure 29. And then you can get the C here, which is kind of nice because it... Devil in music, they call this interval, with reason, because it's, yes, nicely dissonant. Yes, indeed, D7 chord, not resolving in, but Trugschluss, what's that? Fake resolution. And from the C to the B, I let it spill over a bit, the C into the B, so you can enjoy the dissonance a little more. And this trick of enjoying the dissonance by letting them spill over, I do from 106 also. In the original there's a lot of tricks with delay or something, and I just play, what is it, 3 or 4 times the same thing. Yes, I add the slapping later, but what I do is open B and a C so they can spill into each other, and then the D can spill into the C. So you have all these dissonances happening at the same time. The C being dissonant with the bass note B and spilling over from the B and spilling over into the D. I could have done this because it's the original gives that kind of feeling. I kept the same melodic part because life is difficult enough. Freely, I could have said, just with these notes, start slowly and make it. Yes, resulting. There I was tempted. Either use the nice bass lines from 114, to use the nice bass line as I did before this instrumental bit, or indeed I like it, but then I don't have the bass, and all I could do then. But where's the C? Yeah, of course there's a C here. You don't want to go there because you want to end happy and bright and shining, and then this is the best place for the guitar. Open 1 and open 6, basically E minor. That's how I did. And of course there's lots of trying out, going back, trying out, going back, listening, going back, trying out, going back. I work in staff notation. Do so, take the trouble to learn music, to read music, because otherwise you are blind to what you do. However good the ears are, I think the eyes should work as well to get the brain functioning on all possible levels, not only the ears. That was fun. I hope you think so too. Enjoy!